Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today I have a PAX Unplugged uh, field report for Dungeons and Dragons. All right, and we're still screwing up. We're still getting it wrong. We're still not hitting the mark. All right. So was Dungeons and Dragons represented at PAX Unplugged? Absolutely. It was presented extremely well at PAX Unplugged. So could you play Dungeons and Dragons at PAX Unplugged? Yes and no. Okay. So one, there were tons of games. There were probably more Dungeons and Dragons games played at PAX Unplugged than all other tabletop role-playing games combined. All right. So how did they do it? Well, all this should be perfectly acceptable. All of this should be perfectly successful, right? So let's talk about it. Where does it land, right? Yeah, let's dive in. So they had Eberron, Legends of the Artificer. It's a different name. Brand new book. It hasn't even hit the shelves. It is going to hit the shelves very, very soon, right? And they had 90-minute introductions to the book ready to play. Fantastic. Totally on the ball. They actually have they have material from the book ready to play, adventures ready to play, everything's there, and they reduced it down from the 4-hour game to 90-minute games. 90-minute run length. Super hot. Like, hey, this is the cool stuff that just came out. Recency. Correct time length, right? Also, and fully provisioned. Dungeon Master's ready to run. All that sounds great, Scott. What's the problem? Every single session was filled at 8 a.m. on the dot. You could not get into a game, period. Oh, that's just you saying that, Scott. So I'm going about, I arrive at PAX. I have a little, like ritual that I do. One of the things I've done, PAX Unplugged, by the way, 2025 in Philadelphia. And actually they moved it back to the week before Thanksgiving. That's new. That's a whole thing too. All right. So let's get into it. Okay. So what could possibly be the problem, Scott? It's all booked. It's all completely booked. And it's not just me saying that. I stood next to 3 50-year-old guys, and the one dude's like, "Oh, I want to play in that Dungeons and Dragons stuff," right? And the guy's like, "You can't." What it was like, it's like, what? He's like, every single registered thing. Like, and he's like, "Oh no, you just register right in the app." He's like, "The app doesn't matter." He's like, "What? The app's really well designed." He goes, "The app doesn't matter. Every single thing that you need to register for, it's already filled." And the reason why is it's 10:15 a.m. And the way these things work is people hit the button at 8 a.m. They book like every single available slot. And this was frustrating. Every single thing I wanted to do that was hot, new, and fresh was completely booked, right? The only thing you could do all day, actually, there was lots of things you could do all day, right? But the things that you could do all day were companies that had literally structured their introductions to their game for walk-ups, right? And so basically, this stuff was great. And if you could get in, I guarantee it was great. That's awesome that they've reduced it down from 4 hours to 90 minutes. And that means even more people were able to play. I wasn't able to play. I wanted to. I looked at every single slot, all booked, right? And oh, guess what? Matthew Mercer was there. Who cares? It was booked. It was like you couldn't register. Like, and I went and just got in the queue line, and I'm like, hey, and I'm like, I could certainly get into this. This is in the Grand Hall. The dude's like, this has been capped for an hour. This is capped at 9 a.m. People lined up at 8 a.m. for a 10 a.m. thing. It's capped. You can't get in, right? I'm like, I have this badge. He's like, your badge is me. Like, he didn't say this, but I actually said, what is this badge for? We're like, I can't get into a single event. We're like, and he's like, yeah, I know it's frustrating. Yeah, like, yeah, it is frustrating, right? And so this is the issue. Now, Scott, why are you complaining? It sounds like they did the best they could. They did not, right? And how do I know this? CGE, right? Czech Games Enterprises, right? So I walked right up to their Learn to Play. They had a room filled with literally 8 different games, instructors on every single table. When I came up and they're like, we start every hour on the hour. And I'm like, well, it's 10:30 right now. The guy's like, here's a chip. Come back, at 10, come back at, 11:58, 2 minutes before, we'll put you right in, right? And he goes, and if he gets filled, or if you forget, and you don't bring the chip back to me, come back at 2. Like every single hour, we will fill every slot and we'll fire off, right? And it didn't matter if you were registered. They're like, you're here, you have the badge, you matter, right? Whereas Critical Role was like, you're here, you have the badge, you suck, you'll never even see Matthew Mercer. You won't even get a whiff of him, right? And I did. Matthew Mercer, a whole bunch of Critical Role people were at PAX Unplugged. I knew I would never see them. I didn't. Ginny D was at PAX Unplugged. I never saw her. You can't even remote, your badge means nothing, right? And it doesn't mean anything for D&D either. You can't book into a D&D game, right? And so this is it. There are companies that are doing that, and you're kind of like, well, maybe Czech Games Enterprises works because they're not overflowed, right? And I'm like, I don't think so. I think their model is better, right? And I think letting people register sucks. Just let people queue up and fire that sucker off. And they also need to ramp up. They need 3-4 times the GMs that they need. And what's stopping them from having it? A lot of stuff. I would say it's wild. I find it very, very interesting. So one, I just want to say, organized play for Dungeons & Dragons is fantastic. They do the best job they can, but they're not there yet. They're just not there yet. And the reason why is the demand is still massively overflowing the supply, right? And in order to meet this, you would have to get and actually a 90-minute game, you have the game length perfect, right? You don't need to fix a thing. So fire these off every hour and overlap them, right? And that means you should be having it, and this is another thing. You're like, oh, Scott, people should play whatever they want to play. People should just play whatever they want to. No. We need every game master from every ridiculous OSR and indie that is taking even a single's breath of bandwidth from D&D. We need them all, right? And this is my point. When you go in and you're like, hey, would you like to play Eldritch Automata? And I'm like, dude, get over, nobody cares about this jank Mork Borg, whatever. You're going to get 4 players, right? But you could be running 6 people at a table for 4 sessions today, right? And we need your bandwidth. We need every game master to convert to a dungeon master. And you're like, well, Scott, people should just play what they want, and the OSR and the indie should be supported. No. Dungeons & Dragons should be bigger than Fortnite, and we don't get there splitting the party. We're splitting the party. There is a huge amount of extremely talented dungeon masters wasting their time as game masters on OSRs and indies. The volume is there, right? But the supply is not, and we need to get all the way up, right? Yeah. So I was simultaneously impressed with what they accomplished, but also just pulling my hair out because we're so far behind. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.